MJF just admitted this, and in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what he had to say because they're quite interesting. And honestly, I'm a little worried about his comments because of the reality that is behind said comments. Because look, MJF, whether you like him or you don't, you're a supporter, you're a hater. The fact of the matter is MJF's a pretty big deal, not only to AEW, but the pro wrestling industry. He is one of the biggest names in AEW. Arguably, he is their biggest star, regardless of whether or not he holds the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Within the pro wrestling industry, he might not be the biggest name, but he's definitely got, everyone knows him. Everyone has heard what he has had to say. He's very outspoken. He is what a heel should be in 2024. That's just a fact of the matter. He is what a heel should have been in 2019 and 2020. He showed people what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. And he's also been able to pivot and be a babyface in the past. We saw that with Adam Cole, which is ironic considering that it was kind of an organic babyface turn in which AEW and Tony Khan simply weren't planning for it. But they went with it. Think about it. MJF, Adam Cole, they were actual rivals for the AEW World title, but they got over so well that they decided to turn MJF, naturally, because of the fans rallied behind him, and they got behind that storyline, which went off the rails once Adam Cole got injured, which sucked. At the end of the day, though, you have to look at what MJF brings to AEW, what he is to AEW, because think about this. MJF, he was gone from AEW for a while, and I'll tell you why. So look, if you look at it like this, at Double or Nothing, he returned from hiatus, where he laid out Adam Cole after being sidelined for several months. He cut a promo about how he was back to being his old self and confirmed that he had signed a new deal with AEW, a big coup for them. Now, this was after MJF worked the AEW World's End pay-per-view in December, despite dealing with a torn labrum and a hip injury. At that said event, he dropped the world title to Samoa Joe and then took a hiatus. Since returning at Double or Nothing, he's worked a handful of matches, including a win at Forbidden Door, and most notably winning the international title from Will Ospreay on a recent episode of AEW Dynamite. Now, they are slated to run it back at All In, a match that I am very, very much looking forward to. He's also been working in Mexico as of late and continuing to do that. Now, here's where the alarming comments come from. If you remember, there was a point where MJF, there was no clear-cut answer as to whether or not he was going to get surgery for his injuries. I know that he was trying to deal with it from a rehab standpoint, therefore he would not have to get surgery, because the idea was, not even the idea, but the belief was, based off of what doctors told him, was if you get surgery, you're out for a year, but you could try to rehab it. It's going to be painful, but you'll be able to come back. Well, there was once upon a time a report that he got surgery. That was clearly not the case. He returned, and everyone's like, oh, okay, well, he's back then. Now, while speaking with Cultaholic, Jack King of Cultaholic Wrestling, the top AEW star noted that he still isn't 100%. He had this to say. I've come back from injury, and I'll tell you candidly, here's a little clickbait for you. I'm still not 100%. I had to come back because I don't know if you noticed this, but the show without me was a bag of, well, you can make up your mind. So I came back a little bit earlier than I probably physically should have. The funny thing is, I'm still be able to beat Rush and all these other guys. And that's me at 80%. Yeah, that's him at 80%. Look, I don't like the fact that he rushed back. Now, I understand that this is the pro wrestling industry. I understand that these guys are not like me and you. I understand that these guys want to get back as soon as possible because they love this. They are addicted to pro wrestling. They love the money, right? Like the adrenaline rush. I get all that. But I think in 2024, when you're dealing, especially with a guy in, like MJF, I think you have to look at him and go, hey, I'm appreciative of you wanting to come back. We desperately need you. We are in a contract year for a media rights renewal. The TV rights deal with Warner Bros. Discovery ends at the end of 2024. They are trying to get a deal done. Not only are they trying to get a lot of money, they're also trying to get long-term security. They want a multi-year deal, more than 2 to 3 years, right? If I'm AEW, I want a 5-year deal. However, you also have to look at the long picture. This is one of your highest paid, if not the highest paid guy that you have under contract. This is the same guy who is your biggest draw in the company. From merch to social to TV ratings to pay-per-view buys. When he is added, when he is shown, when he is featured, he moves numbers. It's not subjective, it is objective. It's a factual statement. Google Trends, search trends on YouTube, name a metric, MJF tops it. It's just that. It's a fact of life. So when you are a Tony Khan in AEW and you're looking at, okay, yes, we need to get this TV deal done. Yes, business is down. Yes, television ratings are down. But instead of costing MJF time on his career, a career in which you have signed him to a long-term deal, which you are going to use him for years and years to come in a high-profile way, would you rather try to book him in a situation which you could hurt the longevity of his career, potentially lose him right now due to a nagging injury that becomes more severe? Or would you say, hey, come on TV, cut promos, tell people you're still, injured, but still cut promos, at least be on the show instead of wrestling? Yes. Also, here's another thing. If he is so injured, if he is not 100%, why on earth are you going to Mexico and working? Unless this is just a worked interview, which you never know with MJF, and this could easily be the case, why are you going to Mexico and working for these shows? It's not for the money. You're just doing it to do it, right? You're doing it because you like to wrestle. I don't like that. If I'm Tony Khan, I'm sitting him down and I go, look, tell me the truth. Are you really only 80%? If that's the case, you ain't working Mexico. And we're going to limit you on TV matches, and we're only going to do big matches and kind of put him on ice in terms of an in-ring ability and an in-ring place. Because if that's not the case, then there's got to be something done here, right? Because you can't have one of your biggest names, if not the biggest names, in your entire promotion. In my opinion, based off of facts, he is their biggest star. You can't have him working Mexico matches. I'm sorry. That's just not an option. But that's me. Let me know down in the comments area